Hey YouTube, this is Bill. This is another video dealing with the BOSE S1 Pros. I know I'm the guy on the internet who has done the most videos about the S1 Pros, hands down. Anyway, I have this pair of S1 Pros and I'm enjoying them completely. Great investment. But I also, before I bought the pair, I also had bought a JBL EON 1 Compact. And since I've been using the pair, the compact has kind of been sitting around lonely. And then I said to myself, gee, why don't I give it a try? Maybe I could do the compact with them, the pair, and maybe that might add something. So this is really the first time I've done this. It's an experiment. And again, I want to emphasize, I didn't purposely go out and buy these 3 speakers to work together. Basically, I bought the pair of S1 Pros, bought the JBL at another time, and now I'm just thinking maybe this might work. So that's what I'm doing today, and we'll see how it works out. So a lot of people on previous videos have asked me for help on how do I set it up. So the BOSE S1 Pro pair are paired through the BOSE Connect app through Bluetooth, and so I do not need a wire connecting the 2 speakers, which is wonderful. So the cable you see right now, that's from the line out of the first BOSE S1 Pro. And this is important. I'm using a TRS cable. If you use the other type of guitar cable, you're gonna lose some dBs, a couple of dBs lower. So TRS is the way to go. So there's my 1 cable out from the BOSE S1 Pro, and then I follow the cable, and here we are. And then so here we go to the JBL Compact. I have it going into channel 1, and that's it. 1 cable setup, no power, no AC power out here, and no mixer. I love mixers, but it's just one more thing to carry, and I don't like to be tethered to cables to speakers. I like to be able to walk around at a distance, so I really enjoy Bluetooth. And I know people, on the web say you lose quality going to Bluetooth, but that's something I'm willing to give up. And the beauty of this system is right here. This is what I don't need. This is my solar panel, and it's charging up my Buten's small external power source. If you're interested, I can give you the link to that. But this is being charged up from my other system. You've probably seen it on the web, the QSC CP8. But this is why a lot of people aren't going for that type of system. They want internal battery. They don't want to carry another, even though it's not so heavy, it's only about less than 10 pounds, but they don't want to carry another item to forget. So they like the internal battery of the S1 Pro and the JBL Compact. One of the downsides of the JBL Compact is right here, this power strip, and it is very hard to read. It's a digital light, I guess, and it's almost impossible to read in bright sunlight, like right now. So to me, that's kind of a weakness on the JBL's part. Going back to setup, so here is my first S1 Pro that's sending the Bluetooth signal, and right here I have it set at 12 noon on the game. If you turn it up much past that, even to 1 o'clock, I start getting the red clipping light, and that again is the weakness of the BOSE S1 Pro system. After you reach a certain level on your tablet or phone, whatever you're using for a source, and you have it at 12 noon or even 12:30, it's going to start clipping on you. If you try to push it further than it can handle, it gets harsh and then it clips red. So the BOSE S1 Pro is not a huge speaker. It's made for 50 people. When you pair it up with more speakers, I'm thinking maybe 75 people tops. One of the greatest strengths, in my opinion, of this system is the lightweight. S1 Pros, 15.5 pounds, super featherweight. I believe it's the lightest speaker on the market. And then you have your JBL compact that's slightly heavier, 17 point something pounds. It's very close. JBL compact is a little larger form factor, but they're both very manageable, easy to put in the car. That's one of the reasons why I really use this more than my other systems. It's just so handy, so accessible. Of course, I would love to take my S sub 1, but then it's a little heavier, dragging that 36-pound sub, where I find I just use a system like this because it's so handy and lightweight. Here's another view. I'm playing in my backyard today, and it's a nice breeze. I don't know how that's going to affect the sound. We'll see. Here's another angle of the backyard. So it's a pretty large area, and this trio definitely fills the area. So playing outdoors is a challenge. You need all the power you can get. You need that clarity, play over wind noise, and this system definitely is able to do that. So the way I'm running this system is, again, through Bluetooth. The BOSE S1 Pro, that'll be my main source, connected wirelessly to the second S1 Pro, to the BOSE Connect app, no mixer. And then the JBL, again, connected through that one cable, is my auxiliary speaker, and that I'll be able to run through the JBL app. And their app is excellent. I'll show that to you in a little while. And then I'm able to lower the volume of the JBL so I can hear how the BOSE sound without the JBL, and then I can slowly raise up the volume on the JBL and see what kind of difference it makes. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a mute function on the JBL app, but it has a slider that you can pull down real quick and pull it back up. It also has a great EQ where the BOSE is lacking EQ, so I can add frequencies that the BOSE does not have. So that's why I'm doing this experiment, and let's see if it's worth the extra trouble of carrying that third speaker. Even though it's light, it's one more speaker and one more pole. So what do you think? It sounds wonderful, and as I showed you, this is a pretty big space, obviously an open space outdoors. I really enjoy playing music outdoors. I guess in my past I saw a lot of concerts outdoors. A couple, I saw the Jefferson Starship, I saw Steppenwolf outdoors, so it's kind of like a Woodstock thing, even though that's not my generation. But take your shoes off and enjoy the outdoors. Music just sounds differently in this huge open space, no walls to contain it. I really enjoy it. I don't know if anybody else has the same feeling. Oh, I forgot. I also saw Todd Rundgren and Aerosmith outdoors. That's right, Aerosmith. When they were a brand new band, nobody even knew about them. I saw them back in Central Park, New York. Dream on. One more. I saw Eddie Money outdoors. You know, 2 tickets to paradise. Here's the speakers in monitor position. I put them down on the floor. I was getting a little worried. The wind was really kicking up, and I was a little afraid one of those speakers can topple off the stand. Okay, here we are back at the home after the testing in the park. And I just want to say that backpack on the left came in handy. It's a great investment. I had the backpack over my shoulder, right shoulder, and I had the JBL compact in my left hand, and the other BOSE S1 Pro in my right hand. And then my second trip to the car was for the stands. Need a couple of cables. So it's that pack, like I said, definitely worth the money. Okay, so getting back to, was this test successful? Well, it had a couple of surprises. I'll have to say it wasn't exactly what I was intending it to do. And going back to it, I intended to have the JBL because it's an 8-inch woofer. I wanted that to act like a mini subwoofer, take the place of my Sub 1, and unfortunately that didn't happen. And the reasoning is, going back to my original comparison video of JBL Compact to the S1 Pros, the JBL Compact, when it gets any kind of high volume, I would say over 100 dB or so, that red light on the app starts blinking, telling you you're hitting clipping. And no matter how much I try to adjust the gain, it's just pointless. That red light is on. Now, I did mention this on a forum, and a person said, don't worry about the red light, as long as it sounds good. And it does sound good. It's still sounding clean, but that red light is flashing. So this particular person said, don't worry about the red light, just worry about how it sounds. But my personal experience is when I see that red light blinking, kind of like a Martian eye, it bothers me, and I kind of turn it down. And that's what JBL recommends. They say turn it down if you see it clipping. So I don't want to damage the speaker. So anyway, the whole object of this was the JBL was to fill in the low end or some other frequencies that the BOSE S1 Pros can't accomplish. But to do that, it has to be louder than the S1 Pros, and that's where I ran into trouble. In actuality, I would say the BOSE S1 Pro are louder than the JBL Compact before clipping. So the question on everybody's mind is, was this a waste of time taking another piece of gear out there, just one more thing to carry? And the answer is no, it was not a waste of time. It actually sounded excellent. It kind of sounded like a surround sound system in the home, but here I was outdoors. So it definitely added coverage. It added some volume. It just didn't accomplish my original goal. Here's what makes this system different. This is the JBL app, and you have to be aware that the BOSE S1 Pro has 0 app, nothing. So you set it and you control it only by the volume of your phone or your tablet from Bluetooth. But the JBL, I'm able to control separately. So here is your volume. I can pull that down or up. And that's really nice. I can blend it again from a distance. So I'm setting my S1 Pros at one volume, and then I could make this speaker louder than the S1 Pro pair, or I can back it off. It's really a great feature to be able to blend it together, the 3 speakers. This is what really makes the JBL setup special. It has an EQ, and it's a good EQ. You can tailor the mids, the bass, the treble, and compared to the S1 Pro, 0 EQ. So the S1 Pro is definitely older technology. I guess we're due for a BOSE S2 Pro because they're really missing the app that other companies have. So in the meantime, that's why I'm pairing up this JBL speaker with the 2 S1 Pros. You can really tailor the sound. So here I have a smiley curve. I'm boosting the bass, boosting the treble. And what I'm able to do is give the JBL some frequencies that I don't hear from the S1 Pro. And that's why I'm saying that this system is unique. Okay, for the wrap up, is this system worthwhile? And the bottom line is, for my purposes, a definite yes. 2 S1 Pros connected wirelessly in stereo sounds wonderful, including outdoors. But when you add the JBL Compact, even though it doesn't do everything I was hoping it would do, it definitely adds quite a bit to the sound presentation. Like I mentioned before, it sounds almost like a surround system. It's when you mute the JBL, a lot of sound disappears. And then when you kick it back on, all of a sudden the sound gets much fuller. So it's covering a larger area. I mentioned and I showed you how the EQ can bring out some certain frequencies that the S1 Pros are lacking. So one cable system, 2 lightweight S1 Pros. The JBL Compact is only a couple of pounds more, and a couple of poles. So yeah, it's a pretty lightweight system, very mobile. Talking about price, S1 Pros are $650 each. JBL Compact is now $575. So altogether with the poles and the cable, you're looking at about $1,900, which is not inexpensive, but that's you're paying for the luxury of the battery operation. You don't have to take any kind of external battery source with this system. Just to give you a comparison, a BOSE Pro 18, which is a more substantial system, better bass, a lot better bass, and better high end, that runs $1,800 for the BOSE Pro 16. But you don't have battery power. So again, depends on what you need. This is not a system I went out and got on purpose. I just kind of pieced it together because I had the 2 S1 Pros. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever tried adding the JBL. And I would have to say it is a success. Just don't expect the JBL to be adding great volume or bass to the 2 S1 Pros. It's just not going to happen. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Until the next time, this is Bill.